all the jitters, all the butterflies. That reminds me of a song. Do you know Paramore?
Yeah,
I know of Paramore.
I've listened to them a few times, but
I have one of their albums.
Oh, did you have Paramore?
No, I had Riot.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's the one that like a lot of people had.
So
That's the one that had like the one on Guitar Hero.
yeah, well, I didn't play it because I heard the song Crush on the radio and I was like, I kind of like this.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
so
a
I
good
picked
album.
it up, and then I was like, oh, the rest
I think
of
they
this
only
is
have
okay.
like 4 albums.
Yeah, it brings out my inner teenage girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll dance along and
You
sing
know
to
what
it.
I mean.
Yeah, I know. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Are you ready?
yep.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 4 of Bitcade. My name is Ryan E. Moore. Joining me, like always, are these beautiful gentlemen over to my left and right. Over on this side.
Quinn.
And over on this side.
David.
You know,
I can do that too, Quinn.
You know, I never, like, because I intro myself. I was thinking about this while I was editing the full podcast the other day, was that I say Ryan A. Moore, which is my Twitter handle, and, like, everything. Do you guys want to go by anything other than your first name? Or do you care
fine.
to... I mean, you don't have Twitter.
No,
right?
I am not.
You have
I'm
Twitter.
an old man. I'm too old for Twitter.
Because there's an age?
Yeah,
If Donald Trump could have a Twitter, then you could have a Twitter.
I'm not gonna go there.
It was an age thing, not a politic thing.
No.
No.
No, you guys don't even say your last names. Well, you said it once.
Yeah, I don't care. My name's David Grout.
Okay.
My last name is too long to even conceive.
And we've talked about that already. Oh, man. I love
That's why I can't say it. It's like a giant. It's like a spell. As soon as you say it,
it conjures up.
Yeah.
Is it just like a bunch of vowels?
Yeah, it's
Just say it once.
Vadisirisac. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
What is that? Like
Some
what is
people think it's Russian, but it's actually Thai.
it? Okay, it sounds more Thai than
Yeah.
I was gonna say that sounds like the name of a species from like a space game or something.
Oh, like Mass Effect.
Yeah, like
species?
we found the I don't know.
Yeah, I
Say it.
believe in
I'm
school I had the well, not
I don't know. I'm gonna
the
butcher it.
longest last name, but one of the longest last names. It's like
So-
it's 11 letters and 5 syllables, I think. or
So when
something.
you were going through high school, how did that work out? When the substitute teacher had to go in and they get to your name and they're like,
oh, they just go Quinn.
they're calling everybody.
But some people would be like,
Susan Bourne.
I got this.
Quit.
they'd be like Quinn, and then I'd be like, long last name here.
You just gotta own it at a certain
Yeah.
point. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bitcade, the Primal Target, official Primal Target video game podcast, where we talk about video game stuff, news, things like that, just in general topics. And then you guys can watch this on YouTube. Search Primal Target, because I was gonna say youtube.com/Primal Target, but they don't give out URLs anymore. So YouTube, I want the URL. Anyway, you, the viewer, can watch every topic throughout the month, and every single week a new episode is posted. Plus, at the end of the month, you can watch the full entire video for you to watch anytime you want. And also at the end of the month, you can go over to soundcloud.com/Primal Target and download the full podcast audio to either Android or Apple. It does not matter. There's no discrimination towards that. Now, we're going to get into our topics. The first topic for the first week of April is we're going to talk about the Switch. Third and final time. So
Is it gonna be the final
this
time
is,
though?
I don't know. Maybe
Probably not.
Maybe
Let's be
not.
honest.
It's
probably
not
gonna
good.
be.
I mean, it's not good.
Yeah.
So
It's the shiny new toy right now.
exactly, it's the everybody wants it, and this is what we got. So we actually, I countered what I was saying in the previous podcast. I actually did get one, and then you've had it as well,
I had it
and
day
we've already
one.
said that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've had it day one.
So I guess what we're going to talk about in this one is more of like the games we've played and how we've liked those games specifically. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the games. What games have you got?
We own 2.
You own 2 of them.
We
Okay.
own 2. Of course, we
I
own
own
Zelda.
2 as well. Okay.
I don't. I think the only people who bought a Switch and didn't get Zelda are the resellers. Pretty
That's
much.
probably,
I
yeah.
think that's pretty much the only people who ever. If you see anybody trying to,
Yeah.
Everybody I know who purchased the Switch got it for Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got Zelda and Snipper Clips. That's what I've played so far.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I also got Zelda, and then I also got Binding of Isaac,
Mhm.
which I've really loved playing Binding of Isaac on the Switch. Have you played? You've played the Switch, right?
Yeah, I played only one game on the Switch though. I played 1-2 Switch.
Oh, okay. I've not played that, so I'm curious to hear about that. So I guess before we get to Zelda's going to be the big one. What have you thought of Snipper Clips so far?
It's fun. I think it's probably the best value game other than Zelda. It's probably going to be the best game you're going to get for your $1. $20.
For a party wise, like it's a good party.
I believe you can play it one player. I believe there's a mode to play it one player. I don't remember because I've always played it just default 2 players with my girlfriend, and we're almost 40 levels into it. Because the way they have it set up is there's like this grid, and I thought for $20 it was just there's just that one grid, and each grid has like.
So it looks like graph paper?
12. Well, no, it's not like a grid. It's like the levels are marked. Like there's a level here, and you just kind of go through them. Like it almost looks like a mobile game in terms of like its level selection screen. It's like there's a level here, and there's like I think there's like 12 or 18. I can't remember off the top of my head how many levels there are in each little world. But I thought that there was only the one world, but we're on to like world 3 now. So when I first saw like just the one world, because it didn't tell you there was more after that.
Yeah.
At first I was like, oh, well, this is all we get.
So it's kind of like World of Goo or Super Meat Boy, where they show you they show you level 1, but they don't tell you that there are more to follow.
Yeah,
Okay,
basically. And I didn't know that. So when we first started playing, I was like, oh, we only get like 20 levels for $20. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if we got our money. And then when we finished it and saw there's all this whole new like section of levels, like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see why. And we're up to I think like the 3rd, like little world in it, and it's a neat little puzzle game.
Cool.
There's been a couple little frustrating moments, but
that's what you get with puzzle games.
yeah, it's a puzzle game.
Yeah.
It's when I have an idea, she has an idea, and our ideas are kind of clashing with each other.
So I heard there's kind of like it's a really hard learning curve, but as soon as you get it, it's really fun. Like,
yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know about the learning curve because the levels progress in difficulty in a nice way.
okay.
The biggest issue we had was trying to figure out the gears. Because there's these gears that are shaped with like points like a gear, and you're supposed to spin them, and we couldn't figure out how to get how to cut one of us into a shape to spin the gear reliably.
Yeah.
But once we figured that out, we got past. We see a gear, we know exactly what to do.
Sweet. So there's like they teach you elements of the game that you're gonna.
Yeah, right now right now in the area we're at deals with a lot of liquid mechanics. And these little creatures that can't touch the liquid, they can't touch you, and they can't. I know. They like fly by the screen, and they can't touch you. They can go through your feet, but they can't touch your body, and they can't touch the liquid. And you have to like cut yourself in a way to like move because the liquid's just like going like just straight across the screen or straight down, and you have to basically deflect the liquid.
That reminds me of that. What's that Disney game where the alligator thing? You know what I'm talking about? It was like where you had to like there was water, and you had to draw the lines. Someone in the comments will know this.
Disney alligator game?
Yeah, it was a Disney game, but it had an alligator, and so you had to get the water from point A to point B to connect the pipes, kind of thing. Anyway,
but yeah,
I get what you're saying.
But we're having a hard time with one level.
Where's my water or something like that? I don't know.
But yeah, we're kind of stuck on those. We haven't quite figured out how to deal with the water.
Okay.
At least on this particular map, and it got a little frustrating. So
you've been playing 1-2 Switch.
Yeah, I actually played with 5 people. Not all at once, but we did. There's like, you can get teams and you switch off and you fight each other. Yeah. And it's like sort of like a board games sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I saw like Funhouse play like that. Yeah.
But it's actually surprisingly fun game. I thought I was gonna hate it.
Did you do the milking one?
Yeah, we did like all the mini games because
Okay.
on the well, we played a few of the random mini games of our choice before we started doing the board game, and then we did the board game, and you are forced to pretty much play games, and we played quite a bit of them. Not, I don't think quite all of them, but
So is it better than WarioWare? That's the big question. Because it has has all those mini games. Oh, you had to think about this. It's not as fun.
no,
Do you think this game should have came with the Switch? Like, does it feel like was it $50 for this game?
It's a $50 game.
Yeah, I think the game should have came with the Switch because what I compare it to is more so
like
Wii Sports. Wii Sports. Although I think it's funner than Wii Sports in a way, because the way this game works, not all of its mini games are good. But there's quite a few that are like filler in there that are just like.
They had to get a quota, and you're like, oh well, I see where you kind of cut
There's
corners on this one.
one where
There are no spoilers to this game, so you might as well.
there's one where you just like there's a phone in the middle and then you just got to pick it up and then answer it, but you got to answer before the other person, and it's like it's kind of cool, I guess. The other lame one is this meditation one where you like you got choose a pose for you at the beginning of the thing, and you got to hold your like what are the Switch nunchuck things called?
Joy-Cons.
Well,
Joy-Cons. Yeah,
is
they're the
actual
Joy-Cons.
things.
Okay. You gotta hold it, and you gotta hold your pose longer and stiller, whatever, than your opponent. And that's a pretty boring one, I think, too. But there's quite a bit of few fun ones. Like my favorite one was one of them was the cowboy one, and the cowboy one is really cool because there is a timer thing that goes off, and then the guy says draw, and you gotta
the one that they've been doing.
You gotta flip it up, and then you gotta shoot your opponent. It also takes into account sort of like angle direction. So my friends both were trying to go super fast because they were like, oh, I don't want to get shot first, and they both drew and they shot at the floor because they pulled the trigger too early.
Nice.
And I was like, oh my gosh. But I think the best thing about this game is the fact that I kept looking at the screen, right? Because normally when you play a video game, you interact with the screen. But with this game, you're actually supposed to look at your opponent, and it's sort of like an interaction between you and them, and you don't ever look at the screen. You're supposed to imagine the things that are happening. The only time you have to pay attention to the game is for sound cues, and also like the rumble feature on the Joy-Cons. But it kind of like made me feel like a kid again when I'd play at recess and go, oh yeah, well I'm holding a sword right now and he's deflecting my attacks and stuff like that. And I think that really fits into Nintendo's sort of motto or creed is a lot of their games are supposed to make you feel like, oh, you're a kid again or whatever, bring back that youthful feeling that you once had.
Got it. The other game I've been playing is Binding of Isaac. Not a new game, but it's like I don't know. I own it on Steam as well, and I've played it there. But like playing it on the go makes that game like there's times where I will be sitting like during work, like I'll be sitting at break, and Binding Isaac will like 15 minutes. I can pull that out, play the game, call it good. Because it's just, and it could kill hours, like just trying to kill time in portable mode. Not much to say about Binding Isaac. I mean, you can't really review a game that's been out already for like it has 3 iterations of it now. There's
something like that, yeah.
Rebirth, Afterbirth, and Afterbirth Plus is the one that's the Switch version. But I guess going into how I play, it goes into playing style. Oh, well, I guess before we get there, we gotta talk about Zelda. But yeah, the Binding Isaac, there's times where I wanted a 2-player game, and I actually was gonna buy Binding Isaac in the Switch and not buy Zelda. And I'm glad I bought Zelda, but there's the reason why Binding Isaac is cool is because it's 2 players, and so I can just like, oh, you want to play this with me? Here's the controller, and we start playing. And I've played with multiple people that exact way, and just during break, I'm like, here you go, call it good. But we'll get into that later. So Zelda. You played a little bit of it, but you played it on Wii U.
On the Wii U, yeah.
So I'm curious to see how you liked the Wii U version. But Zelda, you played probably a little more than I have. Or, well, I don't know.
I don't know. I have only had maybe...
It's kind of weird to judge the game because you can't see how long you've played.
Yeah, so. I've only played it for maybe 10. I only have maybe 10 or 12 hours into it. I don't play the Switch that often. We got it for my girlfriend. It's her device. She plays on the Switch. I play on my Xbox. We have a good time together on the couch. She's got over like 100 hours in it already.
Jeez.
She's already beaten Ganon. And
Accidentally, though, too.
She accidentally beat it, yeah, because she was in the castle looking for the Hyrulean shield.
Okay.
I probably said that wrong.
No.
It's Hylian.
Hylian? Okay.
No, it's not. You're
Is
a
it?
liar. You're a liar.
It's the Hylian shield.
Well,
I don't know.
It
if
is.
He's lying. I don't know if he's lying or not.
I can't tell either.
Here's the thing for those that are watching. Quinn will make up some convoluted thing.
Yeah.
Totally think about it that it's good, and then by the time you look away, he's like, "No, that was totally a lie."
Once we're done with this video, I'm gonna pull out my phone and show them what it is.
Okay. All right. Fine. We'll go with that.
The classic blue Zelda shield.
Okay.
And apparently it's in Hyrule Castle, and you can explore Hyrule Castle without triggering the last boss fight. So she was in Hyrule Castle looking for the shield, and she accidentally triggered the fight. She walked in the room on accident. She was like, "Oh, I'll just try it." Mm-hmm. She beat it first try, which I was like,
Did she have the Master Sword?
She did have the Master Sword, yeah.
Okay. All right.
But and she did, and she only had 3 of the Divine Guardians.
Yeah.
3 of the 4.
The Beast, the Divine Beast.
Yeah, she only had 3 of the 4.
Or I think they're Guardians. Are they Guardians?
I don't remember. I honestly
think they're
don't
Beast.
remember. And she ended up beating them first try. Now I don't know about you, but beating a boss first try, the final game boss first try, to me is like that doesn't seem normal. I don't know. I feel like there's probably either a difficulty spike missing somewhere, or and I'm not saying my girlfriend is bad at games. She's an excellent gamer. Okay.
It's not like she's gonna watch
she's
this
not,
or anything.
Yeah, no. She's a fantastic gamer, but I don't know. I just felt it was weird to beat the final boss first try. Like I don't think I've ever done that. Mm-hmm. I've only beaten one boss in Dark Souls once, on my first try, like ever. Everybody else took like hours. But I watched her fight it. It took her like a half an hour, but it was primarily her just dodging attacks.
Yeah.
And then just attacking when she can. But yeah, like I said, I only got maybe 10 or 12 hours in it. I just got to the
first
area, the first little area that you're supposed to go to.
So you're off the plateau, and then you went down and you met the old lady. Did you meet the old lady?
No, I haven't met any old lady.
Okay, that's the first area. Like the first little yellow dot, you go in, and then there's like a town. And then there's a little shack thing. You go in there, you talk to an old lady.
Yeah, because I got to this town that's in like this like ravine.
Yes. Yep.
I got it with a shrine up here, and I just went up to that like shrine, and then I stopped playing, and I haven't.
Okay,
played
so
since.
you didn't.
I haven't
you didn't
actually.
Go back to
I haven't gone.
So I'm a little bit farther than you.
I haven't gone actually into the town.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I am in the game.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm not story wise. I'm literally like 2 steps away from you.
Yeah.
So when I play Zelda, I played it on Twitch, twitch.tv/primal_target. You can go there, follow. There's a I played it for the first time there, and so as I was playing, I was I did the main mission thing. I played about 3 hours on the stream. And then after that, I've been just kind of doinking around whenever I get a chance in Zelda's in the Switch. Mm-hmm. And as I'm playing it, I'm kind of like, after I got off the plateau, which is the end of the stream that I did, I decided I'm gonna beef up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I go over to the shrines, go get a few towers, go all this stuff. And I spent maybe, I don't know, 10 hours, and I've not
just
completed any of the story.
Yeah.
And then finally I got 5 orbs, so then I boosted my stamina up again. A lot of people keep telling me, don't get the stamina. Here's the thing. Here's the reason why I'm doing stamina. First off, the dude on Twitch told me to do it. Second off, I see where he was coming from, because there's times where you'll be climbing something, and then all of a sudden you fall down. There's one tower you cannot do unless you have enough stamina. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, I see this, and running or dodging or anything like that, like uses your stamina. So I don't want to be like, running into a situation where I don't have stamina. Hearts, you can still get annihilated and lose like 2 hearts. If I'm going to lose 2 hearts, then it's not, I guess it's not going to matter because I'm going to die anyway. But now that I have 2 stamina things, I'm going to probably go for hearts at this point because you got to get the Master Sword and everything like that.
I have no idea what my cat is doing.
No one's watching him this time, so
no, he's probably trying to get into cover with the pots and pans. That's what it sounds like.
So anyway, yeah, I've never played Zelda. I actually did not like Zelda. I didn't think it was a fun game. Now that I have played this, I do think that it's a great game. I don't think it's a 10. And that's coming from somebody that hasn't played that.
You have no nostalgia factor for it.
Yeah,
you're going.
I guess I'm not
unbiased.
blinded. Yeah, I'm not
going
blinded by it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a 10. I do think it's like maybe an 8 or 9. I can't give a full review because I've not played that much of the story. I think that some of the mechanics in the game are great. There was actually a time. I'm stupid when it comes to puzzles. I'll figure out the most convoluted way, and it's the easiest way. Here's one of the they call them shrines, temples,
something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so you go into this little temple thing, the trial, and you try to go. Jeez, man. Oh, are you done?
Are you done, big guy?
Okay. So there's you go into the thing, and so the way that it's all set up is that there are 3 rooms. You go down a little elevator thing. You're in one room. You have to open the doors. Now you get these special abilities. I got a magnet power thing. You got to open the door. Open the door. You go through. Then there's another room that has 4 squares in them. Right? Have you been to this one?
I don't remember.
Okay. So there's 4 like platform things. One you can get stairs to. The other 2 are the same height, don't have stairs. The other one is double the size, but has like blocks on top of it with a little chest on it. So, and then there's another set of double doors. So I walk in, I go see the double doors, I pull the double doors out, go in there, there's a chest. I'm like, all right, cool. Get the chest, walk out. Then I'm like, okay, if the door was magnetized, then something else in here is magnetized. So I hit the magnet, I walk around, and I see that in the tallest one, you can actually pull a brick out. You can pull this block. And so I pulled it out, and it's about 2 times the size of Link. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I have to use this. So in my mind, I'm like, how do I use this block to get up there? But there was a chest in there too. So I went in, got the chest, opened the chest, got some goodies, walked out. Now I have this block. So I'm like, all right, how am I going to get this and go up 3 stories high to get to the end of this trial? This is what I'm going to tell you how. Do you want me to tell you how it's supposed to be done, or do you want me to tell you how I did it first?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me.
How do you want me to do this? The way it was supposed to be done, or the way I did it? It's not
the way you did it.
The way I did it. Okay, so the blocks that were on top of the 2-story one, I decided to take the magnet thing and start clearing them off. Like I just started knocking them all off. After I got about like 3 or 4, they're not magnetized, they're stone. So I'm like, all right, well, I take the bomb. I blow it up, and it starts moving across. I freeze time, start hitting it, and then it projects it over. Yeah. So then I get 2 of them over in that area. Then I take the block, the big magnet block, put it on top, and then I go, oh crap, I have to get across. So I bring it over, put it between the other platform, cross over. Then I take the magnet block, put it on top of the 2, jump on top of it, take the chest that's magnetized, put that on top of it, jumped on the chest, jumped on top of the platform, walked over, completed the task. This is not how you do this. That doesn't
sound like no, from the ones that I've played, that doesn't sound like that kind of a puzzle. Like
this took me about like 30, 40 minutes trying to figure this out. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, I got to use this block. So it's something to do with the block. No, you take the door, you blow it off, take the door, put it on the side, and walk up it like a ramp. I'm like, because that's what Christian said. So I was like, Did not do that. Did not do that. But the thing is, what I do like about the game, as much as I think I broke it at that point, but the game gives you everything you need. Like, after you get off the plateau, you have everything you need. You have all the abilities. You just are lacking stamina and lacking heart. That's all.
Yeah, and gear.
And gear you can find.
Yeah.
But one thing I don't like about it, though, is the fact that I think the enemy encounters that are not in the temple things are a waste of time. Why do I need to fight these people? They're like, oh, well, you can get the chests. Most of the time, they're garbage. I don't want anything in there.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. If it would have gave me XP, it makes sense. I don't know. How are you feeling? As you're a Zelda fan, you've played the Wii version. I don't know how much you've played of it.
I played a little bit, just goofing off with the controls and like climbing up random stuff right now. I didn't get to start from the beginning. So my friend just gave me his Wii U pad and was like, here, goof around for a little bit. And the controls are fine, and it doesn't look nearly as bad as I thought the Wii U version would look in comparison. But you get XP from enemies in that
No,
game?
you don't.
Oh, you don't?
That's why I'm like, I'm just going to break my stuff on this guy. So why am I wasting my time with this guy?
Oh, so your problem is that your weapon is going to break if you fight that guy.
I just don't see the need to do it. Now, I do get the whole, like, oh, well, if you kill out this camp, then you got the camp. You got the little fire. You can do whatever you want. But I just don't. I see the reasoning of why they're out there, but I just don't see why I need to do it, if that makes sense.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I skipped a lot of them.
Yeah, I'll just run. I'll see him and I'll run off.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't need to fight them.
I'm just tired of having to go through like 2 or 3 weapons in a fight. Like that drives me nuts.
And then you can get a way better sword by fighting one of the guardians. Like you can get the little spider walker guys. I'm talking about.
The guardians. Yeah.
My friend fights those all the time. They kill him in one hit.
You gotta block. You gotta get the shield out.
I don't know if he has a shield. I haven't actually seen him use it. I think he just
there is shields in that game.
uses. I don't know how far along he is. I assume pretty far because he plays it every day on his at work. But I never see him use his shield, and then most of the time he just uses the glider thing and flies above them and attacks them.
Yeah, I mean, I when I play it, well, the thing that I notice when I play it is, for me, if I'm playing a game and it makes me wish I was playing this other game, that's a problem.
It's not worth it at that
It's
point.
not worth it. Like, because when I started playing Breath of the Wild, when I was done, guess which game when I went and played right after?
Skyrim?
I went and go play Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, Rebecca was like, I would like to play Zelda. I'm like, yeah, here you go. I don't need to play it. I wasn't like, no, I want to get this done. I want to do this. I was like, oh, okay, here you go. And I just picked up my Xbox controller and turned on Skyrim.
I know it sounds like we're totally crapping on the game. The game is great. There's no if, and, or but about the fact that it's a great game, if not an amazing game.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny
It's not a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's not a 10. I don't think it's a 10. It's maybe a very high 8, low 9.
I'll agree with that.
But
there's just quirks with it that I find unnecessary. It's primarily like the weapon breaking. I feel like the camps, as you were saying, there's no real purpose to them. They're just kind of there.
Yeah. I mean, but this also take with a grain of salt. I'm not a Zelda fan. Did this game make me a Zelda fan? Not really. I do think it like I've had fun playing it. But I just don't. Is it worth buying a console for the game? Like you're even saying the Wii U version is not as bad as you thought it was going to be.
No, it's not nearly as bad, but
there's things you wish it was on a Switch, or
no,
did playing the Wii U version knock you for like were you like, oh well?
No, if you can only play the Wii U version and you have like a Wii U, if you don't have a Wii U or a Switch, I would suggest, if you have the opportunity, buy the Switch and then buy Breath of the Wild for the Switch. But if you already have a Wii U and you don't have the money to get a Switch or whatever, and because that's a lot of money, I would just say buy it on the Wii U.
Yeah. That's probably sums it up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I'm not like I've I've played all of the major console Zelda games. I haven't played the handhelds. Okay. I played all of them. I haven't beaten all of them. But I have played all of them, and I don't consider, and I never really got hooked on the whole Zelda thing, because like their fans are crazy, like my girlfriend. I mean, you should see the wall that my girlfriend has of Zelda.
Your Zelda Switch over there. You got
yeah, she got the officially licensed.
Oh, the dock has the Zelda logo on it. Do you have two docks?
No.
Oh.
No, that's all the decals.
Oh, that's a decal. Okay.
Yeah, that's all the yeah.
Because it's in the spot of where the Switch logo is.
Yeah, it's completely covered. Okay. The whole thing is completely covered. Because we've got she also picked up the officially licensed Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, they're all officially licensed stuff. Like everything.
Yeah, my sister, not my sister. My girlfriend has a whole chunk of our wall dedicated to The Legend of Zelda. I mean, yeah, it's right there.
I don't know if it's in the shot.
No, I don't think it is, but because she is a super fan, and even though I've played them, I am not at her level, and I know that there's a lot of people that are, and they're all loving, Breath of the Wild and all that, but it's not for me.
So I guess we're just talking about the Switch games, but we got to kind of progress here. But the playing style, I'm curious to see what you've been playing it. You guys have been playing it more handheld. Is that right?
She primarily plays it handheld, just because she'll play it in the bed. She'll play it on the long part of her couch that she likes to lay on, and then that allows me to play the Xbox.
Yeah,
But
does she ever play it docked?
Yeah, if when I'm not home, or if I'm still asleep, or if I'm not on the TV or the Xbox, she'll play it docked.
So she's more of a every use.
Yeah, she uses it all. Yeah.
Okay.
All around. Yeah. She probably mostly though plays it in handheld mode, just because if we're up at the same time.
If you were to say percentage wise, you'd probably say 60-40.
I'd probably say 80-20.
Okay.
80-20 handheld.
So Christian, I was talking with him, and he plays it primarily on the TV.
Okay.
He docks it all the time. Now for me, I can't speak on his, so that's what he plays it on. Now for me, I play it handheld. You guys have seen me at work. I play it all the time because it's just great. It just kills time. Like, what else am I gonna do? 15 minutes? That ain't gonna give me nothing. I gotta. That's some Binding Isaac timer. That's enough to run through point A to point B. That's really all you can do in Zelda in 15 minutes. But yeah, I play handheld. I've always liked handheld games. I mean, the Game Boy was my first game console, so the Game Boy Color. And I enjoy the fact that I can play this wherever I want. I've never actually killed it. Like, I've never ran it to die. I'm still looking for a freaking charge cable. Nintendo, where's that at? I have no idea where that's at. But yeah, there's a lot of times where I will be like, oh, this is an opportunity. I can pull it out. Like, I can play this. And going into, playing with friends, whenever I have Binding Isaac in, I had Tyler play it with us, or play it with me. He was sitting there. He's like, "Oh, you got the Switch?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'm playing Binding Isaac. I'm like, "Do you want to play?" He's like, "I can do that." I'm like, "Heck yeah!" And so I go in, change it to 2 controllers, which took me forever to figure that out. Like, it's not obvious on how to do that. I think they need to make that.
Oh, it isn't. It isn't snipper clips.
No, well, you
mean in Binding Isaac? It is.
Well, you had to hit home.
Yeah.
Then you have to go down to tap the little Joy-Con controller thing, and then you have to configure controller, and then hit left, and right, and then left and right, and then sync them, and then they're good.
Oh, interesting. Because with 1-2
maybe it's because it's a Nintendo licensed game.
Maybe, yeah. Because with 1-2 Switch, it just says, all right, well, left, like, we turn it on, and we're going to be like, okay, 2-player, all right. And then it has...
Oh, but see, there's no 2-player selection. You're in the game, and then you just pop in. It's just like a pop-in thing.
I got you, yeah. Because with the 1-2 Switch, it's just like, is it 1 player and it has the 1 person, or is it 2 player with 2 and you hit 2?
Yeah.
And then they, like, kind of separate, and then, all right, well... This controller is this one. This one's that one.
Yeah.
Hand it to 'em.
Yeah. So when, but it's like it's like the commercial thing, and I've even done it with my brother, of where he was sitting there. I'm like, we can play this game together. He's like, we can. I'm like, yeah. And so I just hand him the controller, and then we're just, trying to play. We'll try to beat the dungeon crawler, of what Binding Isaac is. And I like that aspect of it is this couch gaming, and Nintendo took the couch gaming and went, you can do this anywhere now. You can bring this console anywhere. I have no idea how the whole online situation is going, because the only game that's like that was the Splatoon beta. As far as I know, Christian had a hard time connecting to that, so I don't know.
I didn't try.
So I'm not sure about multiplayer online wise, but as for local multiplayer, I enjoy it. I've always wanted a console where you can just go, hey, let's play this game together. And Binding Isaac has been great on doing that, as much as it's kind of a pain in the butt. The game itself is a big giant pain in the butt. Well, not really set up. It's just a really hard game.
I gotcha. Okay.
When you're Isaac, player one's Isaac, and then player two is this little like ghosty kind of guy, but it takes one heart away from Isaac, and then if the heart disappears, you can't earn any hearts as the blob. As soon as the blob dies, Isaac has to make sure he has at least 2 hearts in order for the blob to come back. But anyway, yeah, it's fun. I've had a lot of great times playing with it with other people, and that's kind of like my playing style is mobile, and playing with friends, I have to say, has been a really fun time.
I have a hard time playing with it in handheld mode just because my hands are larger. I have to use the Pro controller. And the problem that I have with it is that you can't charge it while playing it with the Pro controller. But we did get that stand finally in that they have for it. And so I'm able to do it now because that lifts the console up itself, so you can plug it in and charge it.
See, I think the controller was something I worried about, because as soon as I open up the box, they look really, really small.
Yeah, they look really small.
But as somebody that plays it in, I take the Joy-Cons off and I sit there and play it.
Yeah.
And that's how I play. And I actually, the more at first it was very like, these are really like small. But after I've played a little bit with it, and I've added those little bumper things that I bought, those add a little more girth to them. And so I'm like, these actually feel fine. I have no problem with them. I don't think they're that small. And a lot of people that I played with have said, oh, I thought these were really small. But now playing it, when they got to play it in the side mode, they're like, oh, this is not that bad.
Yeah, when we're playing Snipper Clips and we have it in the side mode and I have the little strap attached to it, that's okay. But if I have them like on the unit itself and I'm playing with it, in this mode, I can't do it. Well, not for too long. I can't do it for too long.
So let's go into games that we're looking forward to quickly. I'm looking for Mario Kart 8, and Mario Odyssey.
I'm not sold on Odyssey yet.
But were you a 64 fan?
I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a huge Mario 64 fan. I remember the day that I saw Yoshi on the roof, and I was like, yes.
What are the games you're looking at? Mario Kart and
Mario Kart is pretty much the one I'm looking for now. I'm waiting just to see what is gonna come out, but I'm not, because they said Street Fighter is gonna come, but I'm not a Street Fighter fan. I don't play the fighting games.
I think Mario Kart's gonna be fun on that. Here you go, play. Let's play.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm the most excited for it, because that's gonna be that's gonna be I think a much better on the go multiplayer game than Snipper Clips or Binary. It's gonna be a lot more accessible. It's gonna be a lot more fun.
Yeah,
I feel like.
You said you saw the Shinigami Tensei trailer today.
Yes, or yesterday.
Okay.
But I got 2 other games that I'm excited for.
Okay.
I'll say the SMT one last because I have the more details on that one technically. But Fire Emblem Warriors, and then the new Fire Emblem that's going to be on console. Because the last time Fire Emblem was on console was when Radiant Dawn was out, and no one really bought that.
I will say Rebecca is excited for the Fire Emblem games.
So I like Fire Emblem a lot.
She's excited for the Warriors because she did like Hyrule Warriors.
Exactly, that's why I'm excited for.
That's sad.
And why is that sad?
Because the game was, well, no, she has the new 3DS, but the old, if she had the old 3DS,
I know the issues with
trash.
the old one. Yeah, I know the issues, but which was she likes, because I used to play the heck out of the Dynasty Warriors games.
Yeah.
And so I will probably play Hyrule Warriors with her, or not Hyrule, Fire Emblem Warriors with her, even though I've played maybe 14 hours of Birthright.
It's more than I played of
yeah
the game I had.
I had fun with it.
200 hours into that.
All
three versions of the game.
I just get hand cramps. That's why I have to stop on the 3DS. My hands get cramped.
And then Shin Megami Tensei Deep Strange Journey.
Oh, that's what they call it?
That's what it's called.
They got a name?
So,
because at first it was just called Shin Megami Tensei.
If you guys are unfamiliar with SMT, I think quite a large people are. Deep Strange Journey, it's insane. Normally they don't ever make sequels or anything that are like continuous things to other SMT games, but this is I'm assuming is going to be a sequel or takes place in the same like universe timeline sort of thing as Strange Journey for the DS that came out 2007 or something like that. So a long time ago, and a lot of people consider that game to be one of the best mainline SMT games, because people say Nocturne, which is 3, or that are some of the better ones that people have played. So to see that, it's crazy. So it's so insane.
You're glad that if they're making a sequel, you're glad it's this one.
Well, I think it's really cool because normally they're their own things, so you don't have to play the previous ones.
Because I'm more of a Persona person, so like whenever no Persona is connected.
Yeah, no Persona
it's just like, boop, we're done. Story's over.
Yeah, the story's over, but they're in the same universe. Yeah. Whereas the Persona
people are in the same universe.
The SMT games are never, normally I don't think they're in the same universe, or else that like world that they live in is always going into apocalypse mode and being destroyed.
Well, so you're saying this one is a sequel, but isn't the one that came out on 3DS?
Yes. So
the Apocalypse
is also a sequel, so it seems like they're starting to do sequels more and more now, which I don't know if it's good or bad. I haven't finished Apocalypse, so I gotta finish that first, and then I'm gonna buy Strange Journey, play through that, and then once Deep Strange Journey comes out, I'll have all the information about Strange Journey, so I'll play that and see, is it good that they keep making sequels? Is it bad?
Mm-hmm. So you think you're gonna pick up a Switch now?
Well, I already was gonna pick one up,
okay.
but I'm hyped even more because SMT on console. The last time it was on console was, well, not including Persona 4, Nocturne came out 2005 or something. It was PS2. Okay, and also not including Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
So, kind of a question to both of you. I mean, we noticed this when we were at work, that the Switch games are more expensive.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's up with this?
Yeah.
Specifically, and this is numbers from Best Buy. No, we don't work at Best Buy. But I just want to say that. But anyway, the best is like Just Dance 2017 was the game we were looking at.
Yeah, we were using this as an example.
The Switch game is $59.99. That's a $60 game for Just Dance. Not too bad. But then you start to consider the Xbox version and the Wii U version and the PS4 version are $49.99.
Yeah.
And the Wii version, yes, there's a Wii version, is $39.99.
Yeah.
So, what has come to be, and this is from PC Magazine, of where they wrote an article about this, was that the cartridges don't have a set price for when they're manufactured. That's why Binding of Isaac was, I think I spent $40 on Binding of Isaac. And then why Zelda's $60 and Mario Kart's going to be $60. Mm-hmm. But on the Wii U version, even you're kind of like, well, on Wii U, it was what, $50, $49, $49.99. So what is the problem with the fact that, and this, we even talked about this, was the cartridge thing, was that the cartridges are costing more money to manufacture.
Right.
When
it's also based on their size too.
Yeah. So with the Blu-rays, it's easy. 5 gigabytes, 40 gigabytes, same thing. It's the same disc. There's nothing different about it. You buy the disc, you put the stuff on it, you send it out. With the cartridges, the problem is if you have a 1 gigabyte or a 2 gigabyte game or a 32 gigabyte game, they're all different prices. Mm-hmm. It's just like memory cards. When you go and buy a SanDisk memory card, they're different prices. It's the same thing that they're dealing with. So when you see Zelda, which is a huge game,
it's like
that's why it's $60.
It's like 20 something gigs.
I don't know.
It's like 20
but
something gigs.
It's $60.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it's a big game.
Yeah.
And then when you get Binding of Isaac, why is Binding of Isaac, $20 more than it is on PC. You do get a whole bunch of stuff, and they do. I am noticing that there are like things that they'll kind of compensate for that fact of, well, okay, well, you guys are spending $10 more, so here's more stuff. The problem is there's the games that don't have it, like Just Dance. Just Dance is literally the same game.
Yeah,
it's more money.
Mm-hmm.
$10 more, but that might be the deciding factor of a person that has an Xbox One or a Switch
or a Wii.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, you'll have another console. But
no, you have no idea how many times at work I get asked, "Where are your Wii games? Where are your Wii games?" I'm like,
these two.
And I'm like, you're talking about the Wii that's 14. I literally say that. You mean the Wii that's 14, like 14, 15 years old? That one? And then they look at me. They always look like, yeah.
But yeah, so it's like these. And it is sort of a problem that it's gonna run into eventually. I just don't want it cracking above $60. We can talk about this at a different time. I just want to get a quick response, quick 2-minute response.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about? Are you worried?
No, cause I'm used to the six. I guess I'm just used to the $60 price tag.
Okay.
Okay. Even like.
But what if it breaks it? What if there's a $70 game that comes out?
We'll see. It depends on the game, cause it depends on the game, because I will spend more money for a game if I know I'm gonna like it.
Okay, for you got the 3DS Shinigami Tensei game.
Yeah,
that's already $50 3DS game, which is very rare.
Atlas makes quality.
Exactly. So what if the next one is the $70 game?
I bet you it will be 70, 80, and that's not including the special edition, which I will buy. So.
Yeah.
I'd buy it. I'd buy Atlas's games until they like went out of business.
So both of you, what I'm getting at is that as long as there's content, there's quality content, and it's $60 or $70, you'd be totally fine with it.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna pay $50 for Bomberman. I'm not gonna pay $50 for 1-2 Switch. I bought the Super Deluxe version of Mass Effect Andromeda, $100, because I know I'm gonna like that. Mm-hmm. You know, like I said, I don't mind paying the extra money, and I'm all digital too.
Mm-hmm. And we can get into that the whole cost money thing in a different topic.
But I'm just saying, as somebody who is all digital, who is I have like 147 games on my Xbox.
Yeah, I have 160 something.
I have like, I don't know, 8 on disc. Mm-hmm. You know, so as somebody who's primarily a digital user, when it comes to the Nintendo and having to get their games physically and paying that $60 mark for a physical copy, that doesn't.
You guys have a memory card for the Switch?
No, not yet.
I don't have it either.
Yeah, because I am gonna download I Am Setsuna at some point. I think that's like 4 gigs. Mm-hmm. So.
All right. Well, there you go. That was my quick little Switch talk. That took 45 minutes. So.
Always does.
We're moving on to the second topic, which is going to be from this gentleman in the beard.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about right now going on this year marks, and I know this is gonna probably, from people who watch the videos, gonna be like, oh, he's talking about this again.
You talked about Warcraft for 2 episodes, so you're good.
Well, it's like I think our viewers have finally know by now that I am a huge Final Fantasy fan.
Okay.
Really am. Really enjoy the series. Really enjoy the series.
I don't know. I think they could only see the top part that I was able to knock down the other day.
Most of my Final Fantasy stuff's over here.
Yeah.
But right now they're celebrating their 30th anniversary. Now there's not many game series out there.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
So how does it feel that a game
series younger than me?
Yeah.
That I love is younger than me? I don't know. I've grown up with them, so
it's kind of like me with Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's 20-year anniversary. I'm 22 this year, so.
Oh. Yeah, I know. Even like
I'm as old as Pokemon.
Yeah, like I mean, even games like Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye, a lot of games on the 64 are celebrating their 20th anniversary this year, and that's just, for me, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, Bomberman celebrated 20.
But yeah, I thought we'd talk about. I know you don't have much experience with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, mine's more about numbers. So until you let me know when you want to hear all that.
I know Quinn has played his fair share. And I just thought maybe we could talk about some of our favorite memories, favorite moments, just things that you've enjoyed or not have enjoyed about the series. Just for its 30th anniversary, because they're doing their big 30th anniversary sale right now on their website, and
I think Humble Bundle has something.
wouldn't surprise me. And so I think it's just kind of, there's not many titles out there that aren't first party that are celebrating. That's not Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's celebrating 30 years. And so I just thought, what if we just talk about it for a little bit, like favorite moments, things like that. Like I'll start out. Usually for me, moments I like a good like twist, or I like a good character who doesn't quite reveal everything. I tend to gravitate to the characters that are more of the mystery characters.
So before we get into this, do we need to have a spoiler warning? I
No.
mean, just in this, I'm just saying, at this point, 30 years, you should be able to play some of these
games are pretty old.
But-
So the only game I'm not really gonna. Well, I don't.
Do we want to do this fan conversation where it is a little sprinkle of spoilers, or strictly
It's not gonna be anything you don't already know.
Okay, so there you go.
So like I think the feeling that I got, because the very first Final Fantasy I actually like played, spent time on was actually 7 back on the original PlayStation, and it's not one of my favorites, although it seems to be to the popular opinion. But I understand why. But it's not in my top 3. But that moment when Ares gets shish kebabbed, that was something that, let's see, how old was I? I think I was like 13, 97. I was 12. I was 12 or 13, and that hit me. That came out of nowhere, and I remember playing through it. Like, I was visually, physically, like, sad and upset, because I had never played a game where you get so attached to a character that's not the protagonist, and then gone. And as I'm playing through the whole game, I'm like, she'll come back, right? This is a game. They're not going to do this. She'll come back. No, she did. She doesn't. And later on, now as, I became an adult and I've played it a couple of times through, I'm like, I appreciate the fact that they didn't do that, because I bet you that's what, I'm sure it came up. Did we have her come back? But I applaud them for sticking to it and finishing the story with her dead, basically. And that has always stuck out to me, is in that they're willing to kind of take risks with their writing. They want to make sure that the story is at that top level of story writing. Now that's kind of hard to say with the past couple of games. Like, I haven't played 15 yet. I'm waiting for them to finish it, because I've heard the last couple chapters aren't technically finished. And I'm waiting for all the DLC so I can just binge it all in one go. I haven't played 14 just because I don't have a PC that I can play it. I don't have a PS4. If I had a PS4, I'd probably be playing it right now.
It's fun. I played it with my friend.
That's the MMO one?
Yeah, that's
the newest MMO?
Yeah. But a lot of my favorite moments, though, come from 11, and that's just because of the moments that I have with my friends. But I won't get into those, because those aren't something our viewers can't possibly maybe relate to. You know what I mean?
They're watching this. So.
But it's always been the characters. I've always been attached to the characters that are more mysterious, or ones that don't kind of give you their whole story. I think a good example is, even though I know I've mentioned it before, even though I don't particularly like 10 like at all, I think Lulu and Auron are some of the best characters in the games.
Lulu's like the witch-looking lady, and Auron's the swordsman, right?
Yeah,
the red swordsman.
Yeah, and I think the only reason why I gravitated to those two is because they hint that they have a past together, and they don't really give you their whole backstory. So there's this huge like aura of mystery around the two, and I think that's why I've always have liked that particular pair. It's the same thing in 12. I think because each Final Fantasy kind of has like their, I don't want to say like a couple, but like a pair that kind of usually like comes together. Like in, well, I don't think there was one in. I can't think of one in 10, but like in
Not even the main guy.
What, Titus?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about like a couple. I mean like
Oh,
in
got it.
in Final Fantasy 12 you have like Fang and Vanille. They come up together, and then my favorite pair in the whole series is in 12, which is Fran and Balthier. I think. Yeah, I know. You looked right at my Fran figure. I loved those two together and their story and their dynamic. I love Balthier is like the perfect like I don't want to say space pirate because they don't go to space, but you know he has like an airship. They're pirates, and Fran is just this mysterious like just. I don't know if you want me to swear on here, but she's just this.
I mean,
awesome.
We don't have. We've not sweared on the show for 4 episodes. I don't know if you want to have a sense.
She's just this awesome kicking all the butts character.
We'll keep it at a TV 14 rating.
Yeah.
We'll keep it at that.
And you know those characters in anime that don't say much, but when they do say much, you listen to them.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
I've only seen very.
Or
few,
it's like the characters that never open their eyes, but when they open their eyes, you know stuff's about to go
Oh,
down.
like Brock.
You know, she's that kind of character. Okay, you know, like those kind of characters in anime. She doesn't say much, but when she says something, like you listen to her.
Yeah.
And then if the mist, spoilers, if the mist comes around, you get out of her way or she's just going to destroy you. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really gravitate towards her, because she's got a really sad story, and she's just this monster of a character when it comes to just she can just wreck, and she's awesome. That's why I have $130 figure of her right here. I don't
That's
know if
the Play Arts figure, right?
That's the Play Arts Kai figure, yeah. I can put her in any realistic pose, and it's awesome.
Can you not bring her down?
Oh yeah, I'll bring her down.
See, it's different when like you can do it.
So this one right here, I have her set up in this pose because I like it.
She's not on the
Oh, that's okay. She kind of doesn't really stand, so. But yeah, her right there. She's one of my favorite characters in Final Fantasy, and not because she's some scanty-clad bunny lady. She's a really well-developed, fully fledged character.
She wasn't a lady though.
I mean, I like her design. It's cool.
But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why 12 is one of my favorites, is because of her and Balthier. I did not like the main character, Vaughn. Oh, I wanted to be Vaughn. Just he's so annoying, but that's a whole other thing. But that for me, just those stories, the characters, the music, the settings. I think that Final Fantasy has always set this bar that they kind of get criticized for now, because people say, oh, it's not as good as it used to be. And I think that's just because people hold them in this really high standard. And I think for gaming, I think that's a good thing, to have that kind of a company that has that legacy, that people can say, hey, you need to be this good, or we're going to get you for it. You know what I mean? Because you remember when 12 came out, people were, this is too linear, blah, blah, blah. Combat sucks. But I feel like the longer it's been out, more people have come to appreciate it more. Mm-hmm. Once people started to stop bashing on it and give it a fair try.
So what about you, Quinn? What are your Final Fantasy stories?
Well, I just gotta say right out of the way that like I haven't played and completed a lot of the main Final Fantasy games because I've just never been a huge fan of them. Like I played all the way through 3 and I hated that game. I absolutely hated it. And I'm speaking like actual chronological 3, the remake on the DS. And then I played 4. I like 4 because I think Cecil looks cool. The transformation, because he starts off as like a Dark Knight, and then he turns into a Paladin.
Yeah,
or
Paladin.
White Knight.
Paladin's
it
the
is,
term, yeah.
Okay. And it's just a really cool moment in the whole game. But I haven't beaten 9, but from what I played so far, I really like 9 because it's back to its sort of roots as like a sort of high fantasy, like all these like airships and stuff like that. not to say that the later games don't have that, but like 7 is like a lot darker and grittier, you know, in comparison. Whereas if you look visually
It's a
between,
little bit cloudy.
yeah, it's a little bit cloudy.
Proceed.
Whereas 9 is just like beautiful fantasy sort of looking game.
I love 9. That's my favorite on the.
And I love the characters in
PlayStation.
9. The characters are awesome so far.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that's Zidane, right?
Yep, Zidane. He's one of my favorite protagonists. He's
Might have to
hands
lift him
down. What's that?
You might have to lift them up.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
sure what the shot looks like.
I have the Zidane little figure. I also have Squall as well, but I didn't like it. Squall from 8, but I didn't like 8, but Rebecca did, so we picked up Squall too.
He's got a gun blade.
Yeah, yeah,
But actually, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I've played a lot of the spin-offs and stuff like that, like Crystal Chronicles,
Kingdom
Tactics. I guess if you want to say that's a spin-off. And I played Final
There
Fantasy
you
4
go.
Heroes of Light, which is on the DS, which I don't think a lot of people have played. It's a pretty fun just RPG game. It's supposed to be like a pop-up storybook. So when
Which
you,
one?
4 Heroes of Light.
Is that the one that they're bringing to the Switch?
There's one coming to the Switch?
There's a Final Fantasy game that comes to the.
That's
coming to
supposedly what it is. My friend said it was actually a
a new.
successor to Bravely Default, though. Because Bravely Default is actually a spiritual successor to 4 Heroes of Light, but it's not a Final Fantasy game.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, because I remember when they were doing. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but when they were doing the Switch announcement back in like July or whatever, and then that stream, they showed that Final Fantasy game that was like, it was like a 2D platformer.
That's
but
not.
in
Is that? That's not
3D.
Project Octopath, is that?
No.
Okay, that's a different
No,
game.
that's something else. But I just continue.
And so I played a lot of Bravely Default, and I like those games a lot because it's very similar to 9. It's got the sort of, well, they got the chibi art style because of graphic limitations of the 3DS, which I don't mind. And I love the art and character designs in those games. And also the mechanic, because you can control time in the flow of. It's a turn-based RPG, but if you want to, you can spend like these points that you accrue over time to stop time in the battle, so you can stop the enemy phase from them attacking you, and then you can attack right away, and you skip their battle phase.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
I like
pretty
that. I
awesome.
get it. It's like haste but better.
And also, each character has like signature abilities that you can upgrade and customize, and each character has their theme of their own theme song that like plays. It's not as good in 2 because it's a different music producer, but in 1 it was a lot more. They had like when you heard their theme, it fit their personality. It was like so cool, and you're supposed to chain those so like their songs can like go into each other and stuff like that.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's really they're
That's
fun
cool.
games. That's why I bought them, because they're kind of going up in price now.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into the Bravely Default or the Bravely series. What were they called?
Bravely Default and Bravely
yeah.
Second, which is it's the second game, but it's also because the ability where you stop time is called the Bravely Second.
Oh, I got you. Because I know Rebecca was thinking about getting. I know Rebecca was thinking about getting Bravely Default for her 3DS, and I was like, oh, if you got that, I might try it, but we never picked it up. So.
Yeah, it's pretty standard, at least in the first one, because you gotta go to the crystals and purify them and stuff.
It's the very Final Fantasy.
It's the Final Fantasy, but I always loved those games. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I don't have very much experience with Final Fantasy other than playing of what I did. What I did with 10. I did play 10. I played maybe like a half an hour of it, and I was like, no, I don't.
You're
like,
like,
I don't
this
like
is great.
any of this. I don't like
Yeah,
any of this. I don't like this stupid sport thing, the sport ball thing. I don't know what this ball thing.
Blitzball. I only played the one part where you had to play it, and then I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not doing that again.
The constant interruptions of me just walking down a path, and all of a sudden, an enemy encounter. I'm like, all right, well, I'm on a path. I didn't see anyone. And like, I don't know, because as a Pokemon fan, I know in the grass, that's where the people are. Mm-hmm. When I don't know where anything's at, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm like, dude, I just want to get to the freaking tower thing. Just let me get to the tower.
Can I actually interrupt real quick? One
ahead.
great thing about Bravely Default, you can change difficulty at any time, which affects how much experience you get, and you can change enemy encounter rate.
Oh.
I did. What was the other thing I really like about Bravely Default is the permadeath, because it could change the whole entire story. If
Permadeath?
Isn't there like a permadeath? Is it?
Oh
in Bravely
no,
Default?
that's
Or what's the one?
That's Fire Emblem.
That's
Fire
Fire
Emblem.
That's Fire Emblem?
Yeah, where
the
if the
permadeath.
characters die,
That's
they stay
right.
dead.
What was that Fire Emblem one?
Any Fire Emblem game?
Any Fire Emblem.
Oh, it's always like that?
Yeah.
That's what it's known for.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know about that part.
Yeah,
I
I
get
think there's
those
a
ones
reason
mixed
why
up.
there's like
'Cause
30 playable characters in the game.
Well, Bravely Default and Fire Emblem, which one came out at that time, came out at the same time, and I would always get them mixed up.
Oh, it was
they,
probably
that-
Bravely
that
they looked.
second, and then Birthright and Conquest.
yeah,
it
it
was-
was probably
yeah.
Fire Emblem, Birthright, and Conquest because those came out at the same time.
I think it was Birthright, because I got because when I was looking at them, I'd always go, oh wow, that game looks great, and then I would and I went to GameStop. I was like, oh, I don't know which one this was. So if I get them mixed up, now you know, because I'm stupid on that. But anyway, the what was I talking about? Yeah, so 10, I just couldn't do it. And then so I went into GameStop. This was when the anniversary edition of 10 was coming out. And I go, hey, I've never played Final Fantasy. I know the whole big hubbub about 10's anniversary is out for PlayStation 3. Is it worth getting? The guy goes, yeah, if you know, I go, what's a good Final Fantasy to get into? And he's like, well, you know, it really doesn't matter. They're never connected. They're all different.
In terms of the story, it doesn't
he
matter.
goes, I like 10. Is my favorite. I'm like, okay. Well, what about this Lightning game? Like, this one's out for 360. Can I get this one? And he's like, no. People have said that one's not that good, or he said it wasn't that good, something like that. And
so you bought it anyway?
No, I bought 10. I bought 10 and 10 too. It was like a double pack. And so I was like, this game looks great. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the whole freaking point of it is. Find Dad. It's like, all right, well, I don't know where Dad's at. But then, yeah, and then to have Johnny Test as your main character there, I just couldn't do it.
Wait, was he
it's
really
same
voice
actor.
acted by Johnny?
Yes, look it up. So I'm really good at picking out voices. That's why I know who Troy Baker is. That's why I knew
Yeah, he
that
does
Camilla
this all the
Luddington was in
time.
there. So usually when there's a good voice actor, it's usually tied to a really good game. Johnny Test is on that verge of, well, you could slip a fart joke in there and it's called comedy. So it's on the edge of like, I don't really like it. So when I found out when I heard the voice, I'm like, oh no, where have I gone wrong in this whole situation?
Yeah.
And so I started hearing it, and then I got to the laughing scene, and the guy at GameStop, he's like, just have dubbed. It's terrible, but just listen to it until you get to the laughing scene, and then after that you can go switch to subbed. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
He goes, you'll know.
Yeah.
I go, it is so painfully awkward of a laugh because it's fake. It is so fake. And you're like, I cannot stand this. And it goes on for like maybe 5 minutes of them. The girl starts laughing, and then Titus starts laughing, and then all the other characters. And you're like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't skip it either.
Yeah.
So
I just recently got a coworker of ours hooked on Final Fantasy.
from playing what? What did they play first?
So, yeah. So they never played Final Fantasy before. They were talking to me. They were like, I'm interested in playing Final Fantasy. Which one should I play? And I asked her, I said, okay, well, what consoles do you have? She says, well, I got a PlayStation 4, a PlayStation 3, and a PS2 that's not hooked up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to let you borrow Final Fantasy 13-2. So she played through. She spent a week playing it, and I told her, I'm going to let you borrow this game.
but I want it back.
Well, no, because I do have the special collector's edition of it with the soundtrack and a little art book in it, and so I let her borrow it. She loved the combat. She actually loved the game, but I handed it to her and I said, okay, so this game is fantastic, but when it starts getting into the moments to where they start talking about how changing the future changes the past. Yeah, exactly. I said, you just got to let it go and just go with it. And she was like, yeah, other than those moments, like the game was fantastic. And now she wants to play more. And so now I might let her borrow my copy of Final Fantasy 12. So it all depends on what console. I always ask the person, what console are you gonna play it on?
Yeah.
If they're gonna play it on the PS3 or the 360, I always tell them go get 13.2. 13.2, in my opinion, is the best on that console.
Well, let's see what the people around the world thought. These are the top 10 best-selling Final Fantasy games. I have them all here. This is all from VGCharts.com. I thought it was like it's a weird website, but then I also found that Guinness also did the best-selling one, and it was the same. It was the same exact number. So I will take this with a grain of salt. Number 1. Actually, do you want me to go from bottom to top? We go bottom to top.
Go bottom to top.
Okay, number 10 is Final Fantasy 13-2 with 2.96 million copies.
That's not. I don't
sold.
think that's bad.
No, these are not bad numbers.
No, I bought one of them. Like I said, I think that game is the best on that console
Did
generation.
you have 13-2? No.
I never had.
You were not a part of
Xbox
this 2 point.
360.
That was on Xbox 360?
Yeah, that was on 360. Yeah, that was on 3.
Exclusive?
No, it was on 3. No, it was on 360 PS3.
I didn't have a PS3
okay.
either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was like, whoa, hold on.
No.
Square
No,
totally
no.
backed out of that. Okay, number 9 is Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, that's fantastic.
3.7 million units.
That game made me cry.
So, what's the difference between this and 7?
So this is Crisis. So this is like a prequel
It's
to
how Cloud
7.
gets his sword and
Yeah,
stuff, right?
it's the story leading up to where 7 begins.
So you like this one, but you hate 7.
I don't hate 7. I like 7. Okay, I like 7. I don't want you to think I hate 7. I like 7. It's not my favorite.
Okay.
But I don't dislike it. I don't feel the way I feel for 10 and 8 is not including 7.
Okay, I thought
My-
7
my-
was in that category.
My
of
bottom
10.
2 is 10 and 8, and then my top 3 are 12, 11, and 9.
Okay.
And then 7 is like it'd probably be my top 5, but I always say my top 3.
Well, at number 8 is 6 and 3.
They're kind of
With
tied.
3.42 million.
Oh, that's
Now hold
no,
on. Is
no,
that
no, no,
because
no.
are you
Okay.
talking?
Yeah.
Super Nintendo, it was released as.
Oh, it's the
3.
same thing?
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
was
I don't know.
6.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy 6 in Japan was released as Final Fantasy 3 in the US.
Okay, and that's when you were saying the 2 thing. Or no, you were saying 3.
That's why I
You
said
played
I meant
3.
true 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This whole
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
a lot
timeline
of
thing
peop-
is all
yeah,
messing
a lot
me
of
up
people
here.
get
Yeah.
that mixed up.
Yeah, and
so.
that's
I'm
okay.
not a Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah, and Final
Concept
Fantasy 6, if you're on a Super Nintendo, is the one to go with, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
You've
Yeah.
played it on both?
I've played a little bit of it. That
Yeah,
game
you
is
can
really
also
cool.
you can also get it on
So
you
what-
can get it on your phone.
Is
You can get
is
it.
different?
It just has a fantastic story.
So it is a different thing.
What do you mean?
Like
confused.
as opposed to the 3 on the 3DS or in the DS. Is it the same thing?
No,
No.
3 on 3DS is actual 3.
It's literal 3.
No, but what I'm saying is I thought you were saying they changed something for
No.
Okay, all right. So it's the same story.
But he's just saying if
Yeah.
you can play it on the
Yeah, that's
Super
what I'm
Nintendo.
asking. Is,
Yeah.
What's the is it just cuz this is its true form? Or
That
is
was the
why
one
you-
that was really released on.
So you're saying it's better to play on the true form than it is to play.
No. I'm saying it's the best Final Fantasy for the Super Nintendo
Got it.
cycle.
That's what I'm
That's
okay.
what I mean.
All
For
right.
like Sega Genesis, well, it wasn't on Sega Genesis.
I didn't know if
but
they
yeah.
like had modified it in some way.
No,
where you're
no.
like, hey, this is
No, like you can get it on your phone now. You can get it, I think, on the 3DS.
It's on Game Boy Advance.
You can
It's
get
on
it.
Game Boy
Yeah,
Advance.
you can get it on all different ones. But if you're looking for one that was if you're looking for in my opinion, the best one that came out in the Super Nintendo era is 6.
Okay. Number 7, Final Fantasy X-2.
I never played that one. I didn't want to.
5.29 million copies.
I regret buying that game.
I felt like
That game comes with
10 comes
10.
With, comes with no, it comes with
I mean,
your
in the
copy,
PS3, yeah, in the PS3 version.
Yeah, I chose not to play that because when I saw it, all I saw was fan service. That's all I saw.
It
Well,
wasn't
you didn't want to
good
play
either.
Charlie's Angels, the game?
No.
Oh, okay.
That game makes me
I
cry.
remember seeing.
A
I
little
remember.
part of you dies inside every time the PlayStation loads
Yeah,
up.
I remember watching a friend play and like, here, I'll start a new game so you can watch it. And I saw the opening cutscene where like Yuna is like a pop star, and I'm like, nope, no,
that
thank
part
you.
made me cringe so bad.
Yeah.
That whole every dialogue, every ounce of every minute I played that game made me want to just throw my Vita out the window.
Oh, you played it on Vita?
Yes, I
Oh,
played it
got
on Vita.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's right. 10 and 10-2 did come out on Vita. That was the whole thing. It was PS3 and Vita. Number 6, Final Fantasy 9 with 30 million units.
That's that's like I said, that was in my top 3. If people are looking for one for the PSX era, I think that's people always say, "Oh, play 7." I always say, "No, play 9." I always tell people play 9.
Now we're in the top 5. Number 5, Final Fantasy 12, with 5.95 million copies.
I will probably say that one is probably my number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Well, that's not because we got 4 more.
Well, I will like not including. I okay. Let me change that. For me, I think the MMO is always going to be a bar above everything else, just because that's a whole like 4 years of my life on that game with my friends, and so that one was always going to be probably my greatest experience in a Final Fantasy game. But for the single player experience, I think 12 is, in my opinion, just top shelf.
Would you agree?
Have you played 12?
I haven't gotten a chance to
Okay.
play 12. I wanted to because ever since I was a little kid and I saw.
Do you have a PlayStation? do you have a PlayStation 2 that
no.
works? Oh,
No,
okay.
I
do.
My PS2 went down the shutter hole when I was exiled. I don't want to get into details.
You can stream it for them if you want. I have PlayStation 2. I got the Elgato.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Final Fantasy 13 with 6.90 million copies.
I enjoyed it.
4. You said it was your favorite.
13? No.
Oh.
That's 12.
12. Oh, wait. No, the MMO one. You said the MMO was the next bar.
Yeah,
above.
but that's 11. The MMO is 11.
What? Okay, so 13 is... I don't even care anymore. Like,
13 was...
Just stop naming them. Just call them MMO 1.
No, 11 was the first MMO. Final Fantasy 11 was the first MMO. And then 12...
So you're saying 13 is not an MMO?
No, 14 is the
13
MMO.
is with Lightning, the pink chick.
What?
The
Oh,
third
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's the Xbox
13
one.
and
That's the
13
only.
too? Yeah,
That's
this
the only
one.
Xbox one we've
This
gotten.
is 13.
I know what she looks like.
Check it out.
This
Pink.
is
Oh, that's
13.
his
That's-
This one's
sister.
13.
Yeah, that's-
I have the nice book. Guys for him.
That one I wanted to buy because I thought she looked cool, but apparently
You
it's
know-
not that good of a game. So.
No, I
But it's 6.90 million units at number 4.
I thought it was a good game. I thought it was a good Final Fantasy game. I don't know why people were hating on it so much because it's just as linear as 10 was, literally. In 10, you just go in a straight line basically, and the map just
No, you get interrupted every 2 seconds with an enemy.
Yeah, but in this one, you can see them, so you can avoid them.
I bought the wrong game.
I did like 13. I got all of the achievements except one, which didn't allow me to get the platinum, and the one that I didn't get was the one where you have to have every single item in your inventory at one point in at one moment, and I'm like, I'm not going back and getting all that stuff again just to do that. But I got everything else in it. I spent a good 100+ hours on that game. I really liked that one, and it kind of frustrated me that people were just bashing on it so hard because everything they were bashing on it for, you could say the exact same thing about Final Fantasy X.
Comment section below.
You know? Oh, it's too linear. It doesn't open up till the end. It's like
I heard
It's
about.
like
I
that
think
in
I think I was
10.
watching Petty Arcade. One of their things they do. They had the Penny Arcade the series was they were talking about how 2 of their people were saying they had put 40 hours into the game, and then that's when the game really opens up.
Yeah.
But it's like 40 hours into the game. That is a long investment.
Yeah.
But they enjoyed it.
Yeah,
They enjoyed it.
I mean, I think the story was all right. I think Fang was my favorite character. In that whole series, probably because she's the Dragoon, and I have a soft spot for the Dragoon character types.
I like the
Dragonborn?
black guy with the chocobo in his hair.
Oh, Zash,
Yeah,
Zaz.
that guy. I love that guy.
The Dragoon character type in Final Fantasy games are the people that you see with the lances.
Yeah,
with
the
pole
dragoons
arms.
are cool.
Uh-huh.
Actually,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite classes as a kid. Because in 3 they can like, I don't know if it's like that in other games, but they can jump up and then come
No,
back
that those are their signature
Yeah.
moves. Is their jump abilities.
Speaking of number 3, we're
Yeah.
in the top 3 because 3 was already announced. Final Fantasy 8 with 7.86 million units sold.
Yeah, I didn't
Million
like that
copies.
one. I
Final
did
Fantasy
not-
8?
I did not like.
Not a lot
8.
of people talk about this. This 8 one.
Yeah, it's one of those love or hate, I think.
Mm.
It's one of those. I don't know many people in the middle, but I don't like it. I didn't like the combat system.
See, I have a
didn't like the
feeling-
story.
This one got the got the. We'll get to it. I'll explain it in a second.
Yeah.
At number 2 is Final Fantasy X with 8.5 million copies sold.
Yeah, I think that has to. That doesn't surprise me. But here's the thing: is this was the first one on the PS2, and so
Graphically, it looks way better.
Well, yeah, but usually the ones I have noticed with the Final Fantasy series is that the ones that are the first release for a console tend to do well, and they tend to be the favorites because they're for a lot of people they're the introduction to the series.
Got it.
I think that's why a lot of people hold 7 and 10 on these pedestals, because for those people, it was probably their first Final Fantasy game. And so just the huge nostalgia factor for them is just off the roof for them. But that's what I have noticed when it comes to talking to Final Fantasy fans.
What, you want my opinion today? I don't know. I already said he's got a gun sword. What else is there to say?
Yeah.
And at number 1 is Final Fantasy VII with 9.72 million copies sold, depending on how you ask, who you ask. But Guinness said this. This is from Guinness World Records. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII has sales of 9.72 million copies worldwide as of August 21st, 2014. It's the second best-selling game on the PlayStation 1, which was beaten by Gran Turismo, which had 10.85 million copies. And that's from Wikipedia. Yeah. And is one of the best-selling console games of all time.
Yep.
Now I went. Okay, you want to talk about 7?
Well, I'm not gonna dispute that or anything. I think 7 is.
Do you think 7 is a 7?
Oh, I think 7's probably an 8 or a 9 in terms of rating. It's a good game. It's just not one that I particularly hold myself in such high regards as everybody else does.
See, I have the feeling that the reason why 8 is up so high is because 7 was it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Everyone was like, "Yeah, well, I want to get 8."
Oh yeah. Now here's the thing with
9's
8.
all the way down here at 6.
I didn't play 8 till I was in my 20s, but I do remember I did watch a friend of mine play through a good majority of 8, and I will say watching somebody play it was okay. But when I went through and played it myself, it was just I was having a real hard time. I don't know if it was clunky. I didn't like the combat system. I felt like it was a huge reliance on the avatars for the fights. The story was a mess in my opinion. I didn't really find myself attached to any of the characters.
I can't think of anyone from that game besides
I can picture how they all look, but the only name that I can even think of is Squall. Oh, and Renoa. Renoa is the girl.
Okay.
Squall and Renoa. I will say that one, the ballroom scene that everybody is familiar with it. That's a nice scene, but I don't know. I feel like for me, I think the biggest issue I have in particular with 10 and 8 is their love story I feel is very forced on you. And it feels unnatural and it feels very thrown down your throat. Cause
of the game, of the little I've played of it, yes, that is very.
Yeah, I feel like they're really pushing you to be like ship these two are supposed to be together, and there really isn't much chemistry or development built up between the two to sustain that, and I feel like because in 10 when you hit that one scene and everybody knows the scene I'm talking about where Yuna and Titus are in the little pool of water together. You didn't get there because you weren't far enough. And I don't know what they do. It's very, yeah, it's very leaves a lot up to your imagination. But I felt like I was like, this is out of nowhere.
They kids? Aren't they teenagers?
They're teenagers. Yeah, but I'm like, this is out of nowhere.
Oh, gross.
Because I remember when it happened, it's like their relationship at this point in the story is not at this point. This doesn't make sense. I'm like,
hey, you don't know. Maybe they're always down to
sometimes
DTF.
When you're in a pool of water with someone that you like, you just gotta go for it.
You gotta seize your opportunity at this point.
You're like, when will I ever have another chance to do this?
We're alone. We're in the hot tub. There's no one else around.
But yeah, I just wanted to get that.
It's time to make something else. Anyway, now we're moving on to there's just so you know, the #1 best-selling game of all time. I tried getting to see what Guinness World Records had going on here.
Do you know which Final Fantasy game has made Square Enix the most money?
No, what?
Take a
The
guess.
MMOs?
The Final Fantasy 11 has made them the most money.
All right.
Yeah.
So I tried looking up because Guinness said it's one of the best-selling games of all time.
Yeah.
Now I was wanting to challenge them on this one.
Yeah.
I went to Wikipedia, looked up the top best-selling games of all time. They come nowhere close because Tetris is on multiple platforms. It's on everything.
It's on everything.
495 million copies of Tetris have been sold.
Doesn't surprise me.
Minecraft is sitting at #2, which is
doesn't
amazing.
Yeah.
To see a modern day game at 122 million copies sold.
Well,
Microsoft is happy about that one.
Well, let me tell you this: how many copies of Minecraft do you own?
I own
5.
How many times I've bought it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I bought it
this
on
is the thing. Yep.
Vita.
Yep.
On you gave me Xbox One copy,
Yep.
but I got a 360 copy before that.
Uh-huh.
And then no, I didn't buy mobile.
Yeah. See
Yeah,
that?
3.
I feel like a lot of those copies are people buying multiple copies.
And which leads us into #4. I can't remember what #3 was. I think it was it was some series that I was like, oh, it was Wii Sports. I was like, no, that does not count.
That's bundled with the system. That doesn't count in my opinion.
But at
That doesn't
#4 was Grand Theft Auto 5, which has
That doesn't surprise me.
75 million copies sold.
Yeah.
And I bought that game. I bought it 3 times.
I only bought it once, and that was on the day one.
You still have it?
I have it for the 360.
Yeah. See, I have it 360. And then
I-
I sold that, got the Xbox One copy, got rid of that, and then I have it on PC now.
Yeah, I don't really have the desire. Like, I did everything. I got it to 100% on the 360, and then I did what I wanted to do online.
Yeah,
so I haven't
I
had
beat the
any
story.
desire to get it on the one. So
But then at number 18 is the game that we all play. It's Overwatch.
18, we go straight from 4 to 18.
Yeah, because the other ones I didn't really care. I was like, what other games do we play? None of these. They're like Nintendo games. There's like Pokemon is on there several times, and they bundle X and Y together, and they're still on that board, which is, good for them. But 25 million copies of Overwatch have been sold, and that game's only been out last year. It's not even been a year.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, those are the games. I wanted to see the hardware. I was getting numbers now at this point. This is of same from VG Charts. So I'm assuming videogamecharts.com. It is from February 25th to 2017. The 3DS is still #1 at 64 million units sold. The PS4 is the same amount as all of the Final Fantasies sold at 55.9 million units.
So these are just for the consoles that are out right now.
Yes.
Okay.
As
so
of
I'm gonna say,
February.
I got you.
And then Xbox One, because we already talked about the other stuff. Like
Right.
I think we talked about Wii and PlayStation 2 and
Yeah.
how they're #1. Xbox One at 28.7 million views. Million units. And then PS Vita at 15.4 million units, which is sad to see Xbox One and PS Vita right next to each other. And then Wii U at 13.9 million units. That's even more sad because that means a hardware home console was outsold by a PS Vita of a company that literally does not support that.
Well, it's out of production, so.
Oh
Actually,
yeah,
they both might
at
be
the
out of
time it
production.
was February. It was still technically.
Wii U was out of production still.
Probably.
It was out of production since last year.
That's true. Because it was during Black Friday, they did all that nasty business. But anyway, that's all the stats I got for you.
Yeah. I'm just glad that
I hate 10.
I'm just yeah.
I like that the cherry on top of the sundae.
Let us know in the comments about how much you love 10 and how wrong we are.
And how much you would love to be in a pool with someone you like.
That you've only known for 4 days. Jeez.
But yeah, as a gamer, I'm thankful that the Final Fantasy series has been around.
30 years.
Yeah,
I think 30 more. 60-year anniversure.
Probably I wouldn't put it past them
Okay.
because
I don't know.
well, it's one of the it's not one story, so they can just pump out new games every couple years. Like
Final
I think
Fantasy
the games
25.
always look beautiful. I just never.
I think they've always have set a standard graphically, musically, and they used to set the standard for the story. I think it's been kind of lackluster recently. but they used to set the bar, especially for the JRPG, and I feel like the game industry is better for that. We wouldn't have a lot of games right now if it wasn't for Final Fantasy, and so I just wanted to just talk about it for a little bit.
We did.
You
You
know?
thought this was the topic we weren't going to talk about for very long. We've talked
Yeah.
about it for almost a half hour.
Yeah, so that was that. I just wanted to touch light. They're 30 years old now.
And this is a 30-minute episode. Ladies and gentlemen, please comment down below what you guys think your favorite Final Fantasy is.
Damn.
And tell them how they're wrong in what they believe in.
Yeah.
We're moving on to our third and final topic. Quinn, this is your topic.
Yeah. Okay. So I got.
it's about to get
Yeah. I'm about to drop the hot question.
Oh, I thought that was my pen, and I was gonna drop it. I'm like,
So my question is, what are some of your guys' favorite weapons from video games?
Okay. All right.
Did you want me to go first, or did
It's
you
your
guys wanna
topic.
go?
Who do you want to start?
I guess I'll lead off,
Okay.
get my
Alright.
stuff out of the way.
All right.
So I have 3. I just chose 3 because I thought 3 would be a good number.
I have 3 as well.
Okay.
I have 3 as well.
Awesome.
We didn't even
There we
plan
go.
that.
We are all set. So it's not in like my list for top ranking. It's just random
Just
ones.
3 weapons. Yeah, that's what I have too. It's just 3 weapons that I enjoy to use.
Same.
So my first is the Killing Edge from Fire Emblem series, and what the Killing Edge is,
That's
it's
not Bravely Default.
no,
Okay,
it's
that's
not.
the one that has.
It's
the
the
permadeath.
tactical
Got it.
RPG, grid-based chess game,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
And what the Killing Edge is it's just a regular sword. It's like a Japanese katana, but it's a weapon with high crit chance. And the reason why I like this, because there's a killing weapon for every other sort of thing. So there's like a killer spear, there's a killer axe and stuff like that. But the reason I like the Killing Edge the most is because swords generally have the most balanced accuracy out of all the weapons. And also because the first time I used it was, I didn't really get into Fire Emblem till much later in the series, until Awakening. And when I first played Awakening, I hated that game. That's the first one for the 3DS. I absolutely hated that game. I got to chapter like 12 or something, around the time where Lucina and Crom, he's like, "You're Marth," and she's like, "Actually, I'm..."
Oh.
Well, actually, I'm pretty sure everyone knows it because she's in Smash and all that.
Okay.
But she's like, "I'm actually a girl and your daughter," and he's like, "What?
Still doing this?
Yeah, he's like, what do you mean? You have blue hair and stuff?" And she's like, "Yeah, and check out my eye." And then she has the brand, which is like the same thing that Crom has on his arm. And that shows like their lineage. And I got to that part and I was like, okay. And holy crap, let me tell you actually real quick about the cutscene in that. When it zooms in on her face, holy crap, is it really realistic? Like, it is, her face is like, she was real. She's not like some anime
It's
chick.
3D.
Like, I would have to show you how real it looks because it's so strange to see also on like a 3DS too.
Well,
And
Monster Hunter runs 60 frames, so.
that is true, but it looks like more realistic than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, it looks, I don't know how to explain it. I'd have to show you. And I started playing more and more, and I still didn't really like it. I don't remember
It really opens up 40 hours in.
I didn't. Oh no, this game I beat in 25 hours.
Oh, gee. Well, it's a handheld, so I guess.
But I was like, I don't know what got me to like it, but for some odd reason, like, over some course of time, I was like, actually, this is pretty cool. So I started liking it. And there's this one character in the game. So the reason I played the game, first off, just quick, is because Tharja. She's one of my favorite designed characters in all video games. She's like this dark mage character. And I saw this music video that had a picture of her on it. And I was like, I didn't want to play Fire Emblem or anything until I saw that picture. And I was like, all right, I'm playing it. And I played the game up to the point that I got her. And I was like, now I can enjoy the game.
It was all getting through the weeds in this one.
She's still my favorite character even after I played Fates and some other games. Like in Heroes, I still have her. She's my main unit in that game. She's really cool. Still like her. But
She's his main.
Yeah.
Main
Oh, yeah.
squeeze,
Yeah,
right?
main squeeze,
I
yeah.
mean, Hanzo. Yeah.
But one of the coolest characters in the game in Awakening is Longku, and he's like this Asian swordsman. And the first weapon he starts off with is a Killing Edge. And it's really cool because he's voiced by Travis Willingham, who voiced... If you played League of Legends, he's voiced Talon. If you've played... I already talked a little about in Full Metal Alchemist, he's Roy Mustang.
Okay.
He's played tons of other characters I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. And so he has a really cool like deep voice. And when you crit in Fire Emblem, you get a little cut in, sort of like in Persona. But in Awakening, it's a lot cooler because in Fates it's newer. It kind of looks cool, but it's not as cool in Awakening, in my opinion, just because in Awakening it's like a high res cut in, like the actual art is at a higher resolution and the lighting is slightly different, and also they do a different face than they would normally make in their portrait. Whereas Fates, they didn't. I don't think they had the ability to do that because they had a lot more characters in Fates because it's 3 games, and there's different characters on each path. And Awakening is just, of course, 1 game, and they thought it would be their last game, so they tried making everything as good as they could possibly do. And so when you trigger a crit, you get the little cut in, and they say their little like quote or whatever, and it's one of the coolest things to do because with the Killing Edge, it's a 30% chance to crit. And so whenever he comes in and he does this thing, and then the game pauses for a little bit, and you see the cut in come in, and you hear him going like no hard feelings or something like that, or he's like be silent or something. He just says something cool. And then he goes in and you see the crit damage because it's like it goes critical and that's like 99. It's one of the coolest things in the world. Also, crits have a different evasion factor than normal hits. So if you get a crit on an attack you normally miss, it's also the best feeling in the world too. So the other weapon I have is kind of like a similar feeling of why I like it so much is the Vorpal Blade from Golden Sun. I don't know how many of you guys have played Golden Sun.
So many words like tied to each other.
So Golden Sun is
the Vorpal Blade from what Sun?
Golden Sun.
Golden Sun.
So Golden Sun is a game by Camelot, which is like a sub thing of Nintendo, I believe. And if you haven't played it, they're Game Boy Advance games. People regard them as some of the best Game Boy Advance RPGs that have come out, or that will always be. The one on the DS was kind of a letdown, to be honest. But the Vorpal Blade, if you're familiar with Alice in Wonderland, the poem or whatever, short story or whatever, I believe it's Alice in Wonderland. She fights off the like jigger-de-jurger-diddle-daggle, whatever the random like I forget what the thing is called. It's just a jumble.
The Jabberwocky?
Yeah, the Jabberwocky or whatever. Yeah. And she uses a Vorpal Blade. That's her weapon that she uses. Okay. And so
so your favorite blade is from Alice in Wonderland?
No.
Okay.
But that's what it
origins.
Comes from, the origins of it. And you get it in Golden Sun just from like a random cave you go through, and it was the first unique item I found, rather than like a regular sword or anything. And at that point in time, when I first played Golden Sun, I wasn't used to like seeing cut-ins or special like animations for things. And when you use the Vorpal Blade, it has a percentage. It doesn't show the percentage, but it has like a percentage chance to trigger its special ability, and it goes like the Vorpal Blade is unleashing a howl or something. And so when you swing, you shoot like tornadoes from your sword and you attack the enemy. And by the way, if you haven't seen the graphics for Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance, holy crap. If anything that they're good at doing for like Camelot in terms of like graphics, it's making their games look pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. And so when I first saw that, and also Golden Sun has one of the best battle themes of all time. Like if people don't know a lot about Golden Sun, but when they hear that battle theme, like that battle theme has a lot of views in comparison to like anything else. So when they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, Golden Sun, or they're just like, this is kick ass or whatever. So that's just a really cool thing.
I like how you were totally censoring yourself, and then he goes on right there. I said TV-14. It's fine. TV-14. You're good. You're good. You're good.
And then my third is for also another series that actually I don't know. I'm pretty sure in the state that we live in.
Yeah.
The amount of people that know of this game is probably under 10,000.
Okay.
And that is not an exaggeration, I don't think. And it's called Boktai. Okay. And it's a Hideo Kojima game.
Oh, yeah.
And it was for Game Boy Advance. And
he made a Game Boy Advance game?
Yeah.
The guy who made Metal Gear?
Yeah, it has stealth mechanics too. Like you can knock on walls and attract enemies and stuff like that. And it has so the reason it didn't sell well is it has a weather functionality. So there's a solar sensor on the bottom of your game.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, and the sun shines on it and it affects the weather in the game. The amount of like the sun and the heat.
The cartridge has a solar panel on it. So you have to go outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it also charges your gun because
Curse you, Nintendo,
yeah.
for making me go outside.
and the gun is called Gun Day Sol, which means guns of the sun, I believe translates to.
Yep.
And
to use the gun, you have to go and charge it with the sun.
Yeah. And
wow.
like, cause you're a vampire hunter.
What if you? Okay, so you're saying because we live in Washington, that since it's
well, no,
rainy
I
and
wasn't
cloudy.
trying to say that in Washington, but I mean like overall in terms of people all over the world. I was just trying to relate it to Washington as a number.
Got it.
That not a lot of people would have if they know about it, but also haven't played it either.
Yeah.
Which that game is great because the fact that he was like, there's a solar powered vampire hunter is so crazy in my mind. I was like, why
That's a
wouldn't
lot to take in.
Yeah, but it's also Hideo Kojima we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Like, that
And the
doesn't surprise me he would come up with that.
And the music is like a spaghetti western. And when you beat the bosses, you trap them in a coffin and you have to drag them back to this. It's a solar pile driver thing. And you put them in the circle. And then you have a second initiation in the boss fight too. And the game is so great.
So do you think, what is it?
Boktai?
No, Death Stranding. Do you think you'll have to carry your PlayStation 4 outside to try and get some solar beam?
No.
You have to cut yourself for blood to go into it to make the baby. What's his Norman Reedus?
Norman Reedus. Yeah. Actually, the whole reason why it's solar powered in the first place, it wasn't for the DS version because the reason it was for the Game Boy Advance version was actually because it was more so thought of for not the SP but the regular Game Boy Advance where the screen wasn't backlit at all.
Okay.
So that you would be outside anyway or you'd need lighting in the first place.
Got it.
So if you're going to be outside or have some place with lighting, you'd already be charging up the solar power.
Okay.
Also, it factors in like when you play it at night, it is much harder. Like it affects difficulty and stuff like that. It's such a great game. I love it. And
It's interesting.
the daylight cycle changes in real time, so it's so cool. And like ice melts when it's hot. You have food that can spoil or turn into jerky with the amount of like sun and heat. Like it's so in depth for a Game Boy Advance game.
That is I've never heard of a game that did that.
Yeah, I didn't know it by name, but I have seen like how it looks with the little bar that pops out of the
it has
top
a little
and
thing.
yeah.
It's bigger than normal Game Boy
It's
Advance
like
games.
you know how like on a calculator they have that little solar thing. It has like one
Yeah.
of those on the top of the cartridge.
Okay. So any light could do it. You don't have to have the sun.
No, it has to be if you aren't using the sun, it has to be like a UV, like
Okay.
sort of
Like,
light.
you couldn't
so
use
you
these
can't use the
lights.
light bulb. You
Okay.
can't use the light bulb.
That sucks. So who's next?
I will choose.
I guess I can go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So for me, one of them is from a game that I primarily played. Well, I guess you can play all three of these games multiplayer, but one of them is I primarily use this weapon in the single player. But I'm gonna save that one for last. The first one I'm gonna go with is the classic Halo pistol.
Okay.
First Halo.
So the OP.
The OP pistol.
with a scope and everything.
Yes.
Got it.
Because this was back on the original Xbox, with the first Halo. I used to partake in with my friends in high school LAN parties where we would go into a room.
We talked about this on the.
Did we? Did we? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we
I don't remember.
We're
But, you
already
know,
4 episodes in. We have a back catalog.
And we would go and we'd have Halo parties every weekend, and most of the time we would all be using the pistol. And so it was just a big scoping pistol fest.
Have you ever done Sticks and Stones?
No
It's
idea.
like I think. Yeah, it's pistol and grenades.
No.
So-
We would have like everything turned on, but pretty much you would just use your pistol.
Got it.
Because that was just the best weapon to use. So we were all just running around using the pistol, and just the headshots and the jumping around and Warsong Gulch and peeking and getting the headshots like that. Though that was just a lot of fun for me. And I just remember that gun just being ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's really overpowered.
And so that's why I put it on the list. My next one is another one from multiplayer gameplay from GoldenEye. the RCP-90.
Did you play GoldenEye?
Not that much.
The RCP-90 was probably the gun that we would play with the most in multiplayer. Everybody would be like, "Oh, I want to use, put on the golden gun for the golden gun. One bullet, one shot." Like, no. We would always play with the weapon selection to automatics. And so the thing with automatics is they all use the same ammo, so you can pick up any of the ammo boxes anywhere. But it was but the RCP-90 was this 80 round like submachine gun. Has this very, it's like it was the GoldenEye's take on the P90 weapon. If you've ever seen that,
Call of Duty.
yeah. So like
Call of Duty.
how that looks with like that weird like stock and the clip that goes up the top that's like sideways.
Mm-hmm.
It was their take on that weapon, and that weapon was a monster. You would just spit bullets all over the place, and we would just get in. Because when you get hit, and because you have large health pools, you have, it's not a realistic health pool in GoldenEye. When you get hit with the gun, it kind of bounces your character back. So when you're shooting it does.
So when you're getting, like you're saying, you get shot with it, you're gonna go.
Yeah, you can get pushed along the ground. Yeah, as you're getting shot. And so we would just use it, and as we'd fight, it would be tough to fight each other with them because it was hard. Because we would have auto aim turned off. We wouldn't play with auto aim, so we would have to use the C buttons to aim, because that kind of worked as like a second analog. And so it was tough to shoot at each other when we're kind of ping ponging all over the place. Yeah, I mean it was subtle. Like you wouldn't move very far, but the fact that it's spitting 80 rounds at you really fast, you're just kind of like
moving around.
Yeah,
got it.
And so that was always a lot of fun growing up. And then the last one for me is gonna probably be a gun that you guys probably don't know about.
It can't be any more elaborate than what he came up with.
Viewers will probably know it. I know it's been featured in other like top 10 weapon lists, on YouTube, and it's the cerebral bore from Turok 2.
I've always wanted to play Turok.
Turok 2 is one of my favorite first-person shooters on the N64. And this particular gun was this alien weapon, and what it was is it would take like 5 seconds, and it would lock onto the enemy's head, okay? And then it would shoot this little thing about like this big that would then attach to the head. And then there was a drill inside of it. And it would drill into the person's head. And you would see, and it was graphic, like you would see just stuff coming out of the, like it would attach here, and you would just see stuff coming out of here, like brains and blood and gut, not gut.
Oh,
but you know
those
what I mean?
N64 graphics too.
And they would just
chunks.
stand there. They would stand there and have like a seizure while this is happening. And then it would drill into their head, put a grenade in, and then blow their head up. And just watching that when you're, I was like 13 or 14,
okay.
was very entertaining.
I can only imagine.
But yeah, and it had this very distinctive sound too. It had like this like kind of noise when it's finding it, and then it had this really like nasty sounding drill, and it sounded like they put like a whole bunch of like bones and like meat in a blender and just went and then it goes boom.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very memorable weapon. Like once you've seen it and once you've used it, you will never forget it. It's so unique, and I just always loved using it.
Okay.
I mean, because we used to play a lot of Turok multiplayer. Turok multiplayer was also fantastic. It was everything. It's kind of hard because multiplayer on the 64 was tough because it was always overshadowed by like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and that's like the peak, the pinnacle. But Turok 2 multiplayer was really good, but we'd always ban the cerebral bore because it was a one-shot kill weapon.
Yeah,
you can get the lock on and get it off. You were guaranteed to kill.
So my weapons are not as like crazy as that is. One of them might be because you were shocked by what I said. I'm gonna start with in order of when I played the games. So Halo, it's gonna be the Needler. I think the Needler is the coolest gun. Now I'm basing them off of the coolest guns that I've seen, except the last one I'll say, because that one was purely off of Yeah, I'll explain later. So the Needler from Halo is one of the coolest guns I've ever like. When I got to see the Needler for the first time in Halo, and then in Halo 2, like you got to play as Arbiter, and that was just a gun you had. It was crazy because, I mean, think about it. These needles are like that long. And they're in this, and they heat sink you, and then all of a sudden they just stick them up, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's kind of the same thing with your Turok thing. It's when you're playing against friends, and your friend was the jerk that had the needler,
Yeah,
and you're like, well, I'm dead.
Yeah, he's like, well, stop using needler. It's auto-aim.
Yeah.
About.
But yeah, it was one of the coolest things. It's still one of the coolest guns I've ever seen. The color design on it, with the purple like needles and the blue look to it and make it look with the Covenant. It's just a great combination of colors, and it just looks really cool. And then when you hold it, like now there's toys. Now that we were talking about like how there's like a Nerf kind of gun. It's not made by Nerf, but when you hold it inside, and then it kind of over like takes your arm a little bit, and that's really cool. The second gun is from Gears of War, and it's got to be the Lancer. The Lancer is one of the dopest guns I've ever seen.
I think that's kind of been has kind of become like an iconic Xbox.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
like,
now
kind of symbol.
And when you think of Gears of War, you think of the Lancer. You think of
100%.
And if you don't know what the gun is, you know what it does. And this is the gun that literally you pull the chainsaw and that's it. He's now hamburger at this point. Gears of War brought a sense of violence to the game, but also in a sense of it's worth it. And when you can pull it off, you feel accomplished, because it's hard to do sometimes. If I was to go up to you and try to do it, but David's back here and he's on the enemy team, he could just annihilate me because I'm in animation, and as soon as I get animated, I'm dead. Or he could kill me halfway through. So whenever you got to pull off a chainsaw kill with a Lancer, you were normally very taunting, or it was very hard to do because the other person will be fighting back along with the other people with them. And then the third gun is just the regular pistol from BioShock Infinite. Like, I had that with me the whole time. You can only have 2 weapons, right?
You can only have 2 weapons equipped at one point.
Yeah. I had because every enemy almost drops all that ammo. There were you know what? I think I didn't. When I replayed it on PS3 on my personal channel before I was doing Primal Target, and I think I had the pistol the whole time. And the secondary weapon I would switch off with, like, I can't even remember the weapons.
I think for myself, I think I primarily used the pistol just because you kind of have to, because it's the ammo is the most abundant, and then I think I used like the shotgun as my secondary.
Yeah, well, and then in BioShock, like it's a little bit of a different story because you have all of the weapons, like you can carry everything. Right. But the wrench comes in handy more often than not because you just hit somebody in the head with it, or you have to hit something to get it open.
Yeah.
And so even in BioShock, like, I would use the wrench a lot, but in BioShock Infinite is definitely like the pistol or whatever, like, starting gun he gets that I held through the whole game because it comes in handy way more times than not. And I don't feel like, oh crap, I'm using valuable ammo right now.
Right.
You have abundant amount of handgun ammo as opposed to when it comes to the shotgun or whatever other guns there are in the game. I can't even remember.
There's like an assault rifle, but I never really used the assault rifle.
Yeah, because I think it was harder to find.
Yeah, I primarily just used the pistol and then the shotgun if I needed to.
Yeah. Poker catch. That's all. That's all the weapons. Yeah, I just had those 3.
I'm gonna show you a clip of the cerebral bore after this. I just have to.
All right.
Look it up on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, or you can comment it in the comments like you did in the last video.
I love your comment. By the way, your comment made me laugh so.
I didn't knock over anything this episode, so I think it was an accomplishment.
I moved the table.
I didn't have to move because I didn't feel claustrophobic.
That's all good.
So,
it's okay.
Anyway, any closing statements? Nothing about this topic?
No, I'm all good.
You good? We're good? Okay.
I'm good.
It is the end of the month at this point. If you've watched them part by part, you have gotten to the end of the last episode. So it is now time to check in with what are we playing? What did we play in the month of March? Because the way we do this, we record them at the top of the month so that they're out throughout the rest of the month. So what have you been playing in March?
I've been playing a lot of this right now.
Mass Effect.
I've been playing a lot of the Mass Effects.
Okay.
I'm really liking it. I don't care what people say about it.
I've heard other than
the
little gripes and stuff, it's still a good game. Like that's what everyone says.
Looking, the animations.
Have you seen the gorilla walk?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of bad things about like animation wise.
Yeah,
but
like the animations don't kill it for me. Yeah, they're janky. I was talking to even just yesterday, I ran up to go talk to this NPC and my character momentum went by. So I started the conversation and went by the person I was talking to. No. I stopped.
Okay.
I stopped, but I stopped like a few feet past the person.
Yeah.
And then whenever whenever Ryder would talk to the person, her head would just yoink. Yeah. Yeah. And so I just was like, okay.
Oh, no.
All right. Yeah. Your head would just do a complete 180 to talk to the person.
God.
You showed me that one clip of you kicking around the laptop in midair.
Oh, yeah.
That was-
Beacher's laptop. I'm pretty sure everybody can do that. I bumped into it and it just started floating away. And I was like, okay. But like I said, I even did another clip where one of the enemies like freezes up in a ball. I'll show you.
Like Samus?
No, he he's waiting for me, and then
I
he
picture an NPC like crunched up.
he's standing there waiting for me, and then he tries to come at me, and then something happens, and then his legs just all like bunch up together, and he's stuck. But like I can look past that. I understand that the scope of the game is large to the point to where I can look past that. It's like the Skyrim effect. That's what I'm gonna start calling it out. The Skyrim effect, where it's super. There's bugs all over the place, and it's not perfect. But the scope of the game is so big that I understand that that's gonna be an issue, and I can look past it. The people that are complaining, the fact that like the females are ugly is ridiculous. I'm like, that's so wrong. That's the one
Did you see Mass Effect 1?
That's the one that that's the one I don't understand when people are like, oh, the females are so ugly, blah blah. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. I can understand complaining about the bugs, but complaining about how the characters like physically look is like, come on.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying it. I've had it for almost a week. Actually, I've had it a week today, and I'm at like 35 hours, and I'm loving it.
Nice. What games have you been playing there, Quinn?
I've been playing Fire Emblem Awakening. I bought it
I
again.
thought you were gonna say the mobile game.
Well, I have been playing that one too, but I play that at work, and then I play Awakening when I get home, whenever I have the free chance. But I've been whipped around lately, so
Okay.
they've been controlling me. So, but I've been playing Awakening again, and I forgot how good some of the dialogue is in that game in comparison to like Birthright and Conquest. Just a lot of the character interactions are very humorous and great. So
Nice. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Zelda. Breath of the Wild, and I've been playing. Well, just see, this last month I started doing the Twitch thing, twitch.tv/Primal_Target. You can go follow there. I've been doing I played Harry Potter. Now, if you saw in the comment section below, you saw NATO Potato.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, shout out to NATO Potato. He's for the fact that he has a cool name. He also he's been on the journey with me.
Yeah.
I played Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone. Twitch forces me to say Philosopher's Stone, but we all know what the right one is. So I beat that and on Twitch. And it was so freaking hard because they don't tell you anything in that game. They're like, oh, the final boss, obviously, spoiler, is Voldemort. And so because of the end of the movie, it's exactly like the movie.
I thought it was Hermione.
Oh, well, you do have to go and save her from a troll. And Ron stands there and does nothing. Like, you... So the long running joke is now Ron doesn't do anything. But then I had to play which led into playing Prisoner of Azkaban. Yes, I know, that's the third game, but here's the problem. Chamber of Secrets doesn't work. It just doesn't want to read the disc. It looks different than all the other ones. It has a blue disc. You remember when the PlayStation 2 games? Some of them had blue discs. It's the only one that does that. Every other one looks regular. That one doesn't work. I don't know why. So I started playing Prisoner of Azkaban. I played about 3 hours into that, and it's still, you can actually play as all three of them. They all have different perks. Harry can run and jump over things. Ron can what can Ron do?
Stand there.
Nothing.
Yeah, stand there, do nothing. No, Ron does something special, but I know Hermione's is she can crawl. So that's Hermione's ability. And then the others, I did. So when I played Sorcerer's Stone, because when we did I posted the video about the greatest achievement. That was a pretty good achievement to beat Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone, because literally the Twitch chat was helping me. I had no idea. I couldn't look it all up because all the stuff's running on Twitch, and so I was like, well, I can't look any of this up. And so they posted. I think it was NATO that actually did it. He posted he wasn't online yet. So I was like, I don't know how to do this. So then he gets online. He's like, he goes to GameFAQs, takes the thing, copies it, posts it in the chat. And I go, oh, that's how I was supposed to do it. And I beat him. It was so bad. It was a little embarrassing too, because someone was, this guy named Alex was hosting it.
Yeah.
And so like his audience was watching my stream. It was like, I had like 4 or 5 viewers. I was like, oh, that's about average. And then all of a sudden it jumped to like 20. And I was like, oh my God, I look so dumb. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But surprisingly, a lot of them stayed around. A few of them followed us, which is great. But yeah, that was at the top of the month. At the end of the month, after I got the Switch, I've been playing Zelda and biting at Isaac. And hopefully want to get back to doing the Twitch thing. Hopefully I have been doing the Twitch thing. Future Ryan, if you haven't, shame on you. That's what I've been doing. So
Cool.
Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna bring it to the end. Hopefully, this is Ben Bitcade. See, when the thing goes, that's when it. Anyway, so we're gonna. This has been Bitcade. It has been a fun journey. This episode. It's the longest episode we've done. 2 hours of solid content. Wow, that's a lot. But hopefully you enjoyed it. The Twitch, the Switch one went a little bit longer than anticipated, but it's okay. Remember, all the episodes get split up throughout the month. Every single week, an episode of Bitcade is posted, and at the end of the month, the full episode is posted right here on YouTube. You can watch the full video in all of its entirety. Whew, good luck on that. And now, you can go over to twitch.tv/primal_target. Go follow us over there on Twitch. You can also subscribe to us right here on YouTube. Primal Target. We don't have the link. YouTube. Also Twitter, Primal_Target. We're on Facebook.com/Primal Target. And yeah. What else is there? I think that's it. That's all we have. You can follow me on Twitter. Ryan A. Moore. What is your Twitter handle?
I forgot.
Oh my gosh. He doesn't have one, so can't connect to him socially. On Xbox, I don't know. You want to share your Xbox thing? You want friends to play with you?
Maybe not yet.
Okay, all right. He doesn't trust you yet. You gotta put in the comments below.
You say,
trust
add
me,
me, please.
Just say trust me. That's all you gotta say. And then the people that get to this part of the video will go, oh, I got it now. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, David. Thank you, Quinn.
Yep.
This is Bitcade. And we'll see you guys in the next video.